Hey everyone, so we're going to be discussing a transmission service on this Mercedes Sprinter. It's a 906 chassis. This applies to year from 2008 right up to about 2000 to avoid certain mistakes and how to get the bolts out, because on the vans and some of the other Sprinters you can't access some of the bolts, so you'll have to lift up the transmission. So we'll be discussing all of that in today's video. So stay tuned and watch this to the end. There's a lot of useful tips and a lot of useful information. Using your 5mm hex socket, go ahead and open it. It can be really tight, so just be careful. You can spray this down and clean it up, the drain plug, so you don't strip it. So we'll go ahead and just open this up, and it doesn't have the tube built into it. The late model ones have a fill tube, because these have the dipstick on it. So we'll let that drain, and then I'll show you the trick to getting the two front bolts out. The 5-speed transmissions, depending on the engine configuration and what's been fitted to the Sprinter, you'll usually find that this cross member over here is quite difficult. The spacing wise, it's quite difficult to actually get to the bolt. Over here is where the bolt is. And there. So that's where the bolt is. So I'll just show you. So even with the smallest socket I have and the combination of this 1/4" ratchet, it still won't fit in there. As you can see, I've even jacked up the engine. So I jacked it up on the sump with a wooden block and a small hydraulic jack. But even that doesn't give you enough clearance. So I'll show you what I did, and hopefully this helps you out as well. So this is just a T30 Torx bit. And I used a 1/4" spanner. If you have a ring spanner, it'll make it even easier. So all you want to do is the 1/4" spanner normally works with these socket type T30s. You just put it in there, get in with your spanner on this side. It gives you enough clearance. Like I said, with the jack it helps as well. So you get in there, and then you can just undo it that way. And then you just undo it on both sides, this side and this side. And then we'll take these two out first. So we'll take the two fronts out, then we'll go ahead and open the two rears, and then we'll open the middle. So once we have the front bolts removed, the two, then we can move to the two rear, loosen those two. Just get in there with the socket, and then you can loosen it. The rears are not too hard. So once you loosen up the rears, go ahead and remove it. That's what it looks like with the clip, and this clips on the sump. So take note of the magnet and the filter which I just removed here. So I had to drop the filter just to get a bit more space, so in case. So the filter has just got that little one clip over there, and it's got an O-ring here at the top, which you'll see when we install it back in. We've got a genuine kit which we'll be installing back in there. So we want to go ahead and drain all the fluid from here. Just drain it up, and then we'll clean up that magnet and everything in there. So this is the transmission valve body. This is where the filter went in. I'll try and show you that later when we install the new filter. So in case anyone needs to see where the bolts or anything are, you can have a look now. I'll just give you a clear look at it. So we'll just go ahead and wipe all of this up, clean up all of this, and then we'll install the new gasket on the pan. So here we can see that we've cleaned up the pan, and it looks like new. I just used a bit of brake cleaner, and just make sure you clean up everything. Use paper towels to get everything off, and then use a clean lint-free rag and just get everything clean. Don't forget to change your sump plug washer, or just the complete drain bolt. So this is the fluid I'll be using. So it's fully synthetic ATF by Penrite. It's compatible with, and it has the specifications for Mercedes and quite a few other manufacturers. It's actually compatible with most OEM vehicles. Do check your transmission. This is only for the 5-speed. If you have anything other than the 5-speed, it changes, and you can get genuine oils from there. And this is the kit, which I'll show you now. So the kit consists, this is a genuine kit, brand new pan gasket, and a brand new transmission filter. And in case you need the part number, that's the part number over there. So what we want to do is lube up this O-ring, make sure this clip goes into the valve body, and then we'll just clip this on and put it onto the vehicle. So with the transmission pan clean, like I said, we'll go ahead and install the new gasket just over here. Can only really get it on one way, so it's good in that respect. And I'll give you all the torque specs at the end of the video. The new filter, we'll just go ahead and compare it with the old one. Always just compare it just to make sure it's all the same. So this is the old one over here. Just wipe the part number. Sometimes there's superstitions, but as you can see, it's a 142770095. So they're identical. Generally, I like to go for the genuine filters always. So as you can see, they're identical. We'll lube up the O-ring and we'll install the new one. You're servicing your transmission. Make sure you replace your transmission pan bolts. Now this varies from model to model and model year, but I do recommend replacing them because you will struggle to get proper torque on the old ones and you run the risk of stripping them. So this is the part number of the new bolts, and as you can see here, we've got the new transmission pan drain washer as well. So I'll just show you the difference just in case anyone needs reference on it. There's 6 bolts that you need to order. As you can see, they come in a pack of 6. In case anyone needs to see the comparison between the old and the new. They look about the same, but these bolts are supposed to be stretch bolts. So you'll never be able to get these torqued up properly if you don't replace them. And these are fairly inexpensive directly from Mercedes themselves. So again, that's the part number. And don't forget the drain plug gasket as well. So there's 2 notches over here. So the middle one, right in the middle, is where the filter clip goes in. Just like that, and it clips in. Now putting the sump on might be, or putting the transmission pan on might be a little bit difficult. You may have to just jack it up a little bit more. But now that it's dry, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier. So to gain adequate space, we removed one of the transmission bolts and loosened the other one on the mount. And we're just using 2 pry bars to lift up the transmission, just so you get the extra bit of clearance. And that allowed enough clearance. And that gave us enough clearance to put the transmission pan back in. So again, just those 2 bolts, just jacked up, and it allows you enough clearance to lift up the transmission to put the pan back on. Now I'll show you how to check the transmission level, so the transmission fluid level. We've got the special dipstick, which I'll show you a bit later. It doesn't come with the vehicle, so we'll come in now and I'll show you how to remove the cap. So that's the cap over there. As you can see, the red tab is removed from here. So you break off the red tab and you can always reinsert it. So with the screwdriver now, all you want to do is just push this down about halfway. Once you push it down, then you can go ahead and just pull it out. That releases the lock. So that releases this lock over here. So there's a lock in there. When this is pushed in here, this lock is locked onto the dipstick. When we push it down, you can see it's released from the tab, and then you can just slide this off. So this is the special dipstick. I'll leave some part numbers or I'll leave some links in the description, so do check that out. So what we're checking for is the temperature. Now that we've driven the vehicle, we want to see that the fluid is within this level over here. And you must make sure that the vehicle is parked on a level surface. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and just cycle through the gears again now, from park to drive, and then put it back into park, and then we'll check it again. So we'll just go ahead, cycle in reverse, neutral, drive, go back to neutral, go back to reverse, and go back to park. Now we'll go ahead and check the fluid. So you'll notice the dipstick is a lot longer. All we want to do is just push it till it bottoms out at the bottom. Don't force it. So that's at the bottom now. So notice how much it's sticking out. This one's almost perfect. It looks like it's a little bit above, but based on the temperature, this one is perfect. So if you double check, wipe the dipstick and then just put it in again. When it stops and it doesn't go any further, then just pull it out. And then just check the fluid level. You can check it when it's cold, but ideally check it when it's warm. So now that we are happy with this fluid, like I said, this drive is not perfect. It's on a little bit of an incline, so it's fine what we just saw there. So when reinserting this, pull this out. So pull this tab out. Like I said, if you still got the red part here, you need to break that off. You just push it and it breaks off. What we want to do is insert this at the top here and keep it that way. So when we come in here, make sure it's got the O-ring like it does here. Put it there, push it right down, and now we can lock this in. And you'll hear a click, and that's locked in and it won't come out now. So once that's done, we can go ahead and turn off the engine. But that's basically how you check the fluid level. So stay tuned and watch the whole video. And do check out my other Sprinter videos. I've got plenty of other videos on Mercedes Sprinters and other useful information about campers. Thanks for watching, everyone. See ya.